Good morning, everybody. There is that big bright full moon, and some people want to know, is that the culprit of why our bluefin tuna bite seems to kind of tail off during these full moon periods? It's a beautiful morning, and it's well before the sun comes up. We've got a lot to talk about, some great long-range fishing going on. It has been spectacular. We'll check out Tanner and Cortez Bank. How is that weather? Is it coming down? And also, we've got local fishing. We'll take you up to the Channel Islands and so much more. It's time for me to stop blabbering and get to the MB. I'm going to set up now. It's coming up next.
As we watch the Constitution unload a nice catch of bluefin tuna from a recent trip, we have to note that the weather has been nasty out there on Tanner and Cortez Bank. It looks like it's going to come down on Wednesday significantly. It is still going to be breezy, but the winds are coming down. Now, the trend has been, even though there's been some boats with limits of bluefin tuna, for much spottier action. It has been way more difficult. And maybe it's that big, bright full moon up there in the sky, because the last few full moons have resulted in a slowdown to our bluefin tuna bite. Only time will tell. Much better weather on Wednesday. We'll see how it all plays out.
It looks big. It's been.
Gaff it, Gramps.
Oh!
That was a big one, too.
Sand bass?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Good Wednesday morning, my dear friends. Well before sunrise here in beautiful Surfside, California. A slight breeze, not bad at all, and that big, bright full moon. A partial eclipse last night. Some people think that full moon is the culprit as to why our bluefin tuna fishing slows down during those periods. We'll talk about that. Long-range fishing, can it get any better? A signal, another signal of yellowfin tuna down out of Ensenada. We'll have that story at Cedros Island. You saw the lead in. Man, yellow's boiling everywhere. It has been spectacular for Cedros sport fishing so far this year. Tanner Cortez Bank, we're going to talk about that, the islands, the local situation, and so much more. You know what time it is. It's time for the morning briefing. Good morning, my friends. Is that good? And is it good to be with you? Wow, our stats are going through the roof right now. We owe that all to you. So many views every single day, into the millions when we start looking at our social media. And I can't thank you enough. Hit that like button. We deeply appreciate it when you do that. Also share these videos with a friend. Subscribe to the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel and tick that little bell. You'll be notified when there is new content. You can also follow us on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, on X, also on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. It is great to be with you all. You know, it's kind of chilly. We've gone from that horrendous heat wave here in Southern California to where I actually need a sweatshirt on, and it is a little bit breezy, but not bad at all right before sunrise. Excuse me while I bend down because I got to grab a flashlight. It is so early here this morning. Let's take you south of the border and talk Ensenada. I talked to my friend Victor from Blackfin Sport Fishing, and they were out offshore looking around when they found some mixed bluefin tuna and yellowfin tuna. They hooked one fish, or pardon me, they got one fish. It was a yellowfin tuna. They lost an additional 4 fish. In fact, they were trolling through that area and they got bit on the Mad Mac and they couldn't slow that fish down. Almost spooled them. Then they lost the thing, so they surmised it was a big bluefin tuna. But a show on the YFT, not a lot, but some fish around the 425 is where they were fishing. So once again, the situation down there in Ensenada has been mostly rockfish right now with some okay bass fishing from time to time, but there still are high hopes that that offshore situation is going to come together, and this gives us a glimmer of hope for sure. Seen some more yellowfin tuna. The yellowfin tuna bite has been extremely spotty for the pongas out of Ensenada, and I've talked to a lot of the boys down there. They're out scouring and looking and trying to find some bluefin or yellowfin tuna, and that offshore bite has been extremely hit and miss, but hopefully that's going to get better as we push into the fall, and hopefully someone's going to turn the fan off because this is ridiculous, the amount of wind that we've been dealing with in northern Baja and southern California. There still are some of those bird schools of yellowtail that get up under the birds inside Ensenada Bay, but that also has been very, very spotty. Falling back mostly on the rockfish for our friends down there in that neck of the woods. We'll continue to watch that for you very, very closely. Down at Cedro sport fishing, just great fishing on the yellowtail. Of course, Sam De La Torre from Island Fishing Tackle just finished up a great trip down there with a lot of wonderful people. Sam and two other guys on one of their days on a ponga caught and released 64 yellowtail. Absolutely wonderful fishing going on down there in that area. Long range fishing, can it get any better? It has been an absolutely spectacular summer season on 7 and 8 day trips. It has been fabulous. First of all, on big grade yellowfin tuna. Beautiful fish, like 40 to 80 pounds. Sure, there's some smaller fish in there, but most of it's been in that size range with some even bigger than that. The Royal Polaris is out right now, and they are having absolutely wonderful fishing. Their morning started out a little bit slow, but by the afternoon, the yellowfin tuna were chewing and biting really, really well. And then they threw on some yo-yo iron yellowtail to boot. So great fishing for those boys as they are making it happen. Paul Rubio is on a 7-day trip on board the Independence, and he reached out to me and said, this is as good as it gets. Wide open yellowfin tuna fishing, excellent yellowtail fishing, and fishing the beach here early this morning to see if they can't catch maybe some more yellowtail. Who knows, maybe another flurry on the white sea bass, big calico bass, sheephead, rockfish, that kind of stuff is what they're focused on today. Yesterday morning, they tried to get a wahoo bite, but that didn't come together, so they made a big jump, traveled a little bit, and then they were back in to some awesome yellowfin tuna and yellowtail fishing. All the long-range boats have had a spectacular year this year for their summertime trips, and those are 7 to 8 day trips that run down to areas like Alijos Rocks and the Ridge, and it has been spectacular. No slowdown there at all. Unfiled taxes, give our friend Tim Marquez a call right away. Tim will take care of everything for you. And if you have heating and or air conditioning needs, it's John Lopez from Efficient Heating and Air Conditioning. All right, Tanner and Cortez Bank, we have seen a slowdown in the bite. Now, part of that, and most of it, well, I won't say that, who knows, but a lot of it has been due to some inclement weather. Guys are still scratching out some decent catches, and the weather out there right now, I talked to a couple of the boys out there, is much improved. It's still breezy. They're going to be dealing with windier conditions, but it's fishable for sure. And it looks like we got a couple of days where we can put the hurt on these bluefin tuna. But that big, bright full moon up there, that has been the culprit this summer in past bites. We come to the full and the bite slows down. And it definitely has been scratchier out there. Even before the weather manifested itself, it has been scratchier. There's still been guys catching limits of bluefin tuna. There's still been some exceptional scores. In fact, I think the bar is set too high on this bite, but it has become more scratchy, no question about it. Tomahawk, day and a half trip, 15 guys, 16 bluefin tuna, 21 guys on the Islander. They ended up catching 21 bluefin tuna on a 2-day trip. Pegasus, day and a half trip, 15 bluefin and a yellowtail for 18 angler. Ocean Odyssey on a day and a half trip, 20 bluefin tuna. And the Thunderbird out of Davies Lock in Newport Beach, traveling out last night and still kind of bumpy, a pain in the neck. You saw the weather those guys were fishing in on the lead-in, but you also saw multiple hookups going on. They ended up with a great trip for David Molina and friends, 24 guys, 44 bluefin tuna, and 6 yellowtail. Those have been the kind of scores we've been seeing out there. And as we move away from the full moon, we are hopeful that it's going to get better and better and better again as it settles down. And that full moon, it just has been a point of contention since I was a kid. Some people say the full moon is great. Some people say that it doesn't want to bite during the full moon. There's just such a difference in opinions, but we have seen it this year, no question about it. Whether it's coincidental or it's a real deal is something that could be debated for another 50, 60 years, I'm sure. But for right now, we've seen it slow down out there. Hopefully it's going to get going again. When it slows down, when it's scratchier, when you're in a plunker bite, just a few fish going most of the time, that's when you've got to get tough, drop down to 25-pound fluorocarbon. I'm not telling you not to bring your 30, 40, 50, 60-pound fluoro. You want to have that also, but when you have to get tough, drop it down, fish a good hot bait, listen to the crew on your sport boats, and they will make all the difference in the world to you. So keep that in mind, and we'll keep watching it. There are some nighttime fish, but much more spotty. Also, the smaller profile jigs, 350 to 400 grams, seem to be working best. There are some fish up over the 100-pound class, but not as many as we were once seeing. Hopefully that will all settle down and bite again. We'll watch it for you very, very closely. So weather's still up a little bit, but much improved. Dealing with that full moon, we'll see how that all plays out there today. If you're headed to Catalina Island, the El Patron awaits you, and they've got several trips that are a definite go. September 20th, September 22nd, and September 24th. Definite goes. Weekday trips are less expensive, and then you are on a speedy boat with a great crew. You're going to love it. El Patron, Long Beach Sport Fishing, www.longbeachsportfishing.org, or give them a call today and get on the El Patron. Let's go down to San Diego and talk a little bit about full day offshore as well as full day Coronado Islands, because I'll tell you right now, we've seen some excellent fishing down that way. The Grande the other day had 20 bluefin tuna at the islands yesterday. The Coronado Islands, 24 on the bluefin tuna. Scott Buchert, our dear friend, was on board the Grande and said, pretty brisk action down here. Not bad at all. The Mission Belle had 15 yellowtail fishing the Coronado Islands. And our friend Arthur was out with Guardian Charters just the other day. He said the morning started out slow, but by the afternoon they started to pick. They were slow trolling sardines around the Coronado Islands, fishing light line, 20 to 25 pound, with smaller hooks like 2 to 4 size hooks. They ended up with 5 yellowtail on that trip. So not as wide open as it once was, but once again, we are dealing with a phenomenal year at the Coronado Islands. Sport boats out of San Diego have had a fantastic year. There was a time earlier this summer where boats were in the 80 to 100 range on the yellowtail on a regular basis. The Mission Belle, all those guys that were fishing down there were having spectacular fishing. It shows signs of life. It shows like it could get back to that kind of bite, but for right now, a little bit on the scratchy side. Maybe we'll come out of this full moon and we'll see that start to turn on a little bit better also. Now, offshore has been spotted. The Grande, as we mentioned, had that 20 bluefin tuna. Nice hit for them. Yesterday, the San Diego went offshore and they came up with 3 yellowfin tuna. So we are trying to find that mother lode of yellowfin tuna, if it even exists. We're trying to find that. Now, remember, up here in SoCal, Sean Morgan, who runs the Wild and Sack, had 10 yellowfin tuna around a bank called the 267, about 6 to 7 miles south of there between the mainland and Catalina Island. So we'll keep our eyes on this. Still, no sign that the yellowfin tuna bite is ready to break wide open, but we continue to see these little hits on the dolphin pods. They are mostly mixed up with the mammals right now. We'll continue to watch that for you very, very closely. We'll move you up to San Clemente Island, and there's been a little bit of bass and yellowtail there. Also, excellent rock fishing at Catalina Island. We continue to scratch at a variety of different species, but no big numbers of any one of those species. There's calico bass, there's barracuda, there's bonita, there's sheephead, there's whitefish, there's rockfish, there's a few halibut, there's a few white sea bass. That has been the story at Catalina Island, but just a few of all those species for sure. Dropping that fluorocarbon down to the light line, 15 pound, even 12 pound, will catch you more calico bass. So that is one way to combat that slower bite that we're seeing over there. There's quite a bit of bonito over there in most cases, so that'll provide some fun fishing and excellent table fare. And all these sport boats now take really good care of your catch. They get the fish bled and iced, and bonito is a great eating fish, contrary to popular opinion. Up there in the Channel Island area, we're seeing mostly rockfish. We've seen some decent white sea bass fishing at times. They were dealing with a little bit of wind. That's starting to come down now also, so hopefully we'll get back to it. The Island Tack has had some hits on the white sea bass. The Aloha Spirit had a white sea bass yesterday. There's been a little bit of that. No huge numbers of white sea bass, but pretty good. And also some really excellent rock fishing up there in that neck of the woods. If you're headed out of Ventura sport fishing, you're going to want to jump on the Island Spirit. They've had an incredible year, providing a lot of smiles and great fishing and excellent customer service. The Island Spirit runs out of Ventura Sport Fishing, and Captain Daniel Hottaway and his crew will put you on the fish and provide you with some of the best customer service you could ever imagine. Make sure you give Saul a call up at the landing and say hi for Friedman Adventures, 805-676-3474. The Island Spirit, kids fish free every Sunday. So you get on board the Island Spirit and you'll have a great time and go home with a lot of great eating fish. All right, and then as we move you up the coast, Morro Bay, Avila Beach, up in that neck of the woods, Santa Barbara, good rock fishing in all those venues when the weather is decent. Up in San Francisco, continued good striped bass fishing with some good halibut fishing still going on. What a year they've had up there. And there's albacore offshore when the weather lays down and gives guys an opportunity. They're still out there catching albacore in the 8 to 15 pound class, some fish up to 20 pounds up there in that area. So San Francisco still biting very, very well. All right, don't forget, use Tackle Drive. All of the tackle we're collecting is going to the kids at Cedros Island. We also have a lot of clothing and medical supplies, wheelchairs, and so much more. Thanks to all of you that will be sending down to Mexico for the holiday season. Diego Nuno, deckhand on the Royal Star, is a dear friend. He was born on Cedros Island, and together with Friedman Adventures and Diego and all of you who've contributed, and there's so many of you who have done so, we're going to get that all down. Don't forget, you can drop that off at Tackle Express in Santa Clarita, Ventura Sport Fishing, and of course Ventura. Also at Eric's Tackle in Ventura, California, and up there at Hook, Line, and Sinker in Santa Barbara. Sam De La Torre at Island Fishing Tackle in Carson, California. Big Fish Bait and Tackle in the beautiful city of Seal Beach. And out there in Bellflower, you can drop it off at Young's Fishing Tackle. Thank you all for all you are doing to make the world a better place. Local fishing down in San Diego, a little bit more hit and miss after really a spectacular local year. It's not over, though. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that sometimes it's a little slower, and most of the time it's good action on calico bass. Bonito fishing's excellent. Sand bass, there's an occasional white sea bass, occasional yellowtail. Their half-day fishing down there has been exceptional this year. The premier in their afternoon trip yesterday, down there out of San Diego, 21 guys, 54 calico bass, and 15 bonito. The Western Pride up here out of Davies Locker in Newport Beach, they've been doing really well on the calico bass recently. They had limits of bonito yesterday and 67 calico bass. A lot of fun, good local fishing going on there. Up here in the LA, Orange County, San Pedro, Long Beach area, we continue to see mostly sculpin and rockfish with the Monte Carlo the other day, pushing 100 on the calico bass. So maybe we're going to get a fall bite on the bass here in Long Beach area, in the San Pedro area, because it certainly was not consistent this summer at all. Still falling back on the rockfish and sculpin, nothing wrong with that, but a little bit of bass starting to show up. Marina del Rey, same kind of a situation. Twilight fishing, pretty good up there. Redondo Special's been picking away at the bonito, and bass also, we've been seeing a little bit of that. So not bad at all. We'll continue to watch that for you very closely. 5-day trip on the Independence in April. We would love for you to join us on that one. Give the Independence office a call today or visit them at www.independencesportfishing.com. We'll see you on our April trip. Of course, we have an 8-day trip in November. All of you who are on that, I can't wait to see you. It's been sold out for a while now. next opportunity to fish the Independence with Friedman Adventures, that 5-day trip in April of 25. Looking forward to that with great anticipation. Man, I don't even see the sun quite yet, but I do see that big bright full moon back there on this absolutely lovely morning. Let's talk surf fishing. You go down to Big Fish Bait and Tackle in the beautiful city of Seal Beach, California. You purchase the ruler that you'll need to measure your fish with. I'll get to it in a moment, what I'm talking about. Purchase that, and then you're in their monthly contest for the biggest fish. That species of fish changes every single month. Here in September, it's for the largest halibut taken in the surf. And man, I'll tell you, there's been a few nice flatties taken here recently. So go to Big Fish Bait and Tackle. They'll give you all the rules. You're going to have to shoot video and a photo and upload that to their Instagram page. But as I say, just get down there, buy that ruler, and then you are in. You can win a beautiful custom fishing rod. I hope that Doug Holland did that, because Doug said, I had beginner's luck, man. I've been doing this that long. He was throwing a lucky crab lure and ended up with a 24-inch halibut. Doug, that is a nice catch. We've also seen an occasional corvina here taken in the surf, and also some smaller perch. Good yellowfin croaker fishing and corvina fishing, especially up there around El Segundo, but also in the Santa Monica Bay around the Topaz Rock Jetty, where you find the warmer waters, where you're going to find the best bite on all of that. So keep that in mind. Some pretty good surf fishing going on right now. All right, my friends, it's beautiful. The sun hasn't even thought about peeking out yet, but I got a really busy day today, so I thought I'd bring you some information early. We'll watch the situation offshore for you here the rest of the way. We'll have updates for you on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, on X, on Apple Podcast and Spotify, and who knows, maybe some live stuff later today. Have a great day, and as always, I hope to see you really, really soon.